Thank you all for joining us tonight. We're now joined by West Virginia student athlete Kaiser Gondrzik, and we will begin the press conference. Kaiser, I'll start first question. Can you just talk a little bit about the game? You had an outstanding performance, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Can you just talk about the game overall?
It was just a good game for us to kind of get the kinks out. We've been off for a week. And I think that first quarter we were able to get some of those mistakes that we made, on the, both offensive and defensive end. And we got, a run going, I think, in the third quarter. And we just got to continue to carry that momentum in our next game against Georgia Tech on Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am. All right, now we're going to open up for members of the media to ask questions at this time. Once again, members of the media, when you ask your question, we ask that you say your name and affiliation. And our first question comes from Michael Northam.
Yeah, it's Mitchell Northam. I'm with West Virginia Sports Now. Kaiser was just curious. You had a great game. 26 points. But there at the end of the third quarter, you guys went on an 18-3 run over the last 4.5 minutes or so, powered by you. Sort of, you had 9 points in that stretch, 2 rebounds, and an assist. What sort of got into you at the end of that quarter there?
I was just taking what the game was given to me. I think that's when we play best, when we play within our offense. And, luckily it was just in my favor in that quarter, and I was just glad that I was able to contribute to help my teammates during that time.
Next question comes from Joe.
This is Joe Mercado from West Virginia Metro News. Kaiser, the first couple of shots, you had a little difficulty getting going in the first quarter, but then you seemed to find your rhythm in the second when you hit back-to-back three-pointers. What got going for you in the second quarter?
The first couple of shots, they were forced. They weren't good looks. And I just had to, kind of calm down, play within the flow of the offense, and just take what the defense gave me. I think those two first threes that got me going, they went behind. And, I feel like that's one of my bread and butters. Is knocking down the three off the screen, off of a pick and roll, and I'm glad that got me going because I was able to, draw the defense and be able to dish out to my teammates when they collapsed on me.
Once again, use the raise your hand feature to ask any questions for a student. Back to you, Joe.
Kaiser, you knew coming in they would take a bunch of threes. They took 30, but you guys defended pretty well on the perimeter. How were you able to do so and limit them to just 10 3-pointers?
We just had to honor our assignment, honor the scout. I think that we did that, especially against a team like Lehigh. It was good for us to defend, kind of with like a Princeton offense set. In the tournament, you're going to run against teams who will run all different types of things, and I think that's probably one of the hardest offenses to guard. So the fact that we were able to buckle down and lock in on defense, something that we need to carry forward with our momentum moving forward in the tournament.
We're going to go back to Mitchell.
Muted. Sorry about that. I was muted. Just piggybacking there off of the defensive performance. Not only did you guys do a good job of limiting their threes, but inside the arc on 2-pointers, they were just 9 of 32. So how important was it to limit their production inside the arc as well?
It's very important. You got to be able to play defense, inside out. And, we're going to play against, better teams. Lehigh, I give them credit, for having a successful season and getting here to the NCAA Tournament and preparing us, moving forward down the stretch. But, I'm glad that we were able to just honor our assignments in the scout and be able to buckle down on defense and be able to do the same against other personnels as well.
We're going back to Joe.
Kaiser, how much, after playing 3 games in 3 days at the Big 12, how much did the team benefit from having basically an entire week off? And did you get the sense that you guys had some fresh legs throughout the entire game?
We should have. Given the fact that Coach did give us that time off, we're about 7 players deep right now. Everyone on this team is instrumental. Everyone's role is just as important as the next player. So given the fact that we had a fresh start off of today's game, I feel like that will benefit us moving forward down in the tournament, especially when we play against other teams that are very fatigued.
Okay, are there any more questions for Kaiser at this time? If not, thank you for your time. Wish you best of luck against Georgia Tech on Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.
Yep. We'll be joined by Coach Carey here momentarily. Once again, if you have questions for Coach, go ahead and use the raise your hand feature, and we'll get this question answered. We're now joined by West Virginia head coach, Coach Carey. First of all, Coach, congratulations on the win. A nice, hard-fought win for you ladies.
Yeah, thank you. Give credit to Lehigh, too. Congratulations to them getting to the tournament. They're a scrappy bunch. They run good offense. They do a good job of moving the ball, so give them a lot of credit. I thought we come out flat. We come out tired. We come out holding the ball. We just wasn't doing what we needed to do, especially the first quarter. I thought we took a bunch of bad shots the first quarter. But I thought the second and third quarter we played a lot better. So we have to continue to get better. And we hadn't played for a while. It's been about over a week. So it was good to get out. We got to do a better job getting back on defense and matching up earlier. We got a tough game coming up against Georgia Tech.
All right, now we open up for questions. Our first question comes from Mitchell. Once again, say your name and affiliation.
Yeah, Coach, Mitchell Northam from West Virginia Sports Now. Was looking at kind of some of the defensive numbers. You guys limited them from three-point range, but also were pretty efficient defending inside. Held them to 9 of 32 on 2-point attempts and defended well without fouling. How big of an emphasis was that? Was to defend inside hard and do so without fouling?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job cutting down the drives. Transition, they got some wide open threes and hit some. That's just our fault, not talking, getting back in front of the ball. And then I thought we left ball side against a couple of times against a shooter, and they hit a three. So we just got to get sharper. We should have done a lot better defensively. We gave them some wide open looks, and I thought Kaiser started getting in rhythm a little bit. KK got in rhythm. Esmeri. Kari wasn't feeling good, so we just had to keep putting her in, taking her out, and that was tough doing that. But hopefully we can get everybody healthy and ready to go for Georgia Tech.
Next question comes from Joe.
This is Joe Mercado, West Virginia Metro News. Mike, you're tied at 26, then you score the final 10 of the half. You also get a 16-0 run to end the third quarter. What keyed both of those runs?
It was just playing defense. We started getting them to take some bad shots, which led to us having some fast break opportunities, and then we reversed the ball some. With this team, we got so many weapons. We got to trust each other and give each other the ball, and when we do that, we're a pretty good team. Esmer again had a double-double and really, just never got in rhythm. But we need everybody to be in rhythm for that Georgia Tech game.
Next question comes from Spencer.
Hi, Coach. Spencer Nussbaum from the NEC. Even from a virtual setting, it's easy to see kind of how much fun this team has playing with one another. How much does chemistry become a factor, especially when you try to make such a deep run in the tournament?
Well, it really does. When Kaiser and KK are playing together, we don't have our point guard in there. She's out, Madison Smith. And so we really had to move Kaiser to the point, and it kind of messed up our chemistry a little bit. But, hopefully, I don't know if we'll get Madison Smith back, but if we do, that'll really help. And KK and Kaiser plays well together. Esmeri, Kari, they look for each other, so that's very important. It's very important.
Joe.
Mike, Kaiser missed her first couple shots and looked like she was struggling to find a rhythm, but then she hits back-to-back threes in the second. What really got her going and allowed her to have such a great game?
it just, you got to let the game come to you. You can't force things. Really, KK and Kaiser are the two that could force things, but they were stepping up on those picks, and we were taking some shots we shouldn't take instead of moving the ball and coming off picks and that type of stuff. But then Kaiser got it going. They went behind on a couple picks, and she hit a couple threes there, which got her going a little bit, got her some rhythm. The thing is, man, we got to be able to. This is tournament time. You got to play. You can't worry about. You got to be able to be coached. You really got to be able to be coached at tournament time, and our girls got to be able to do that and be coached and make corrections and do what we ask them to do. If they do that, we're a pretty good basketball team.
Joe?
Mike, coming off playing 3 games in 3 days at the Big 12, you mentioned giving them a little bit more rest leading into the tournament. Did you get the sense that they had some fresh legs early?
I don't know, man. I tell you what, we were breathing hard. I don't know. You would think their legs would be fresh, but our conditioning wasn't good. We were struggling that first quarter, getting up and down the floor. And it seemed like as the game went on, we did a better job getting up and down the floor. So I don't know. We should have had fresh legs, but I don't know if that was the case. As far as conditioning, it really didn't look that good. But you always play better the second game. That's been over the years, in the tournament. Teams normally play better the second game. So I look for us to come out and have a great game against Georgia Tech.
We'll go Joe, then Mitchell.
And you mentioned Georgia Tech, Mike. What's the early scouting report on them? It obviously looks like a pretty good defensive ball club.
Yeah, they are. They do. They'll play man. They'll press you and trap. They'll play zone. They got a great 5-player post. They got some shooters around. They got some athletes, and then they got another guard that will drive you and shoot the three. They have a lot of talent. So it'll be a good matchup between both of us.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned that Kari wasn't really feeling 100%. Do you think she'll be good to go against Georgia Tech?
I hope. I mean, I don't know at this time, but I hope she'll be good to go because we're really going to need her against Georgia Tech. So hopefully we can get her better. It has nothing to do with COVID. It has nothing to do with that. It was just, she gets so excited before a game starts and all that. I think she just, I don't know what it was, but, our trainers are with her and the doctor saw her, and hopefully we can get it corrected by our next game.
All right, we have time for one more question. Coach, seems like there are no more questions. Once again, I want to say congratulations on the win. Good luck on Tuesday against Georgia Tech. West Virginia will face Georgia Tech on Tuesday.
Thank you.
Coach, have a good one.
You too.
Once again, for the media members, that's all for this post-game news conference. The recording of this press conference will be posted on the NCAA Digital Media Hub. Thank you for joining us and have a good evening.